In this video, I would like to show you how to do subtotal. I'm also going to show you some basic referencing as well. So right now I have at the bottom, I see there are 3 tabs. So I have one tab which is accounting, the other tab which is marketing, and then another tab which is information systems. So let's go to the accounting tab. Click on accounting tab and you see this data. If you click on marketing tab, you see this data. And if you click on information systems, you see this data. What we want to do is to take all this data and put it in one particular sheet called salary. So for that, I'm going to create a worksheet by, if you see here, see this button here, plus sign. If you click on that, you will see something called sheet. All I did was to click on this and I get sheet 1. So this is the first sheet it is saying. If I double click on that, it is going to highlight sheet 1. So double click on this sheet 1. And then I can type SALARY, salary. So now we have created a tab called salary. And if you want to adjust this, move it, you go here, hold the left click button, and then just move it to the right. So you can move things around as well. So now in this salary is where I'm going to create all the things that I want, the data that I want. Okay, so I'm going to do A1, I'm going to type name. In B1, I'm going to type department. In C1, I'm going to type current, SALARY. And in D1, I'm going to type new, SALARY. So now I'm going to go between A and B. You see this changes, the cursor changes. I'm going to hold the left click button and drag the mouse so that I make it a little wider. I'm going to do the same thing for all of them. So I'll have all my columns, A, B, C, D columns, little wide. I'm also going to highlight these. How do I highlight? I click on A1 like we did before, hold the shift button, and then move using the right arrow. And now you highlight it. Now I can do any kind of formatting to this. I can make it bigger. I can make it a different color. I can make it bold, so on and so forth. Okay, now I'm ready to copy the data. So I'm going to click on A2 and I'm going to write the formula equal to, type equal to, and then I'm going to go and click on accounting tab. It is going to show me the accounting tab right now. I'm going to click on the first person's name, Davidson, K. Davidson. And it is going to show me here ACCT exclamation A2. Okay, and then I hit enter. Now you will see in the salary, you will see K. Davidson and the reference is in the accounting tab. Okay. In department, I'm going to type accounting. And in current salary, I'm going to equal to, and then click on accounting again and click on the salary and hit enter. I'm going to make this as a dollar. So I'm going to highlight this by clicking on C2 and click this dollar button. In the new salary, let's say I'm going to give a 5% increase to everybody in this company. So I'm going to type increase and then I'm going to type 5% here. So the cell that I'm going to work with is H4. And this is the absolute reference that I'm going to be using. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to click on D2 and I'm going to type the formula equal to click on C2 times open parenthesis 1 plus and then click on H4, that is 5%. I'm clicking on H4 and then I close the parenthesis. See here? Do not hit enter yet. Right now, bring your cursor, click it on H4. So now between anywhere on H4. You can do the old way of absolute referencing by moving the arrow to before H. You can put a dollar, and after H, you put another dollar. This is the absolute reference that we did, like before. You can also simply click function F4, and it will do the same thing for you. Okay, you can do multiple ways. Now hit enter. So now you have an absolute reference to this cell here. Okay. So now I can click on A2, shift button, highlight all these, and then hold the bottom right-hand corner, hold the mouse, and bring it down. So now it has copied and pasted all the information from accounting. I can simply remove all these zeros and things like that by going to 12, holding the shift button and bringing it down and hit delete. Okay. I want to do the same thing for marketing as well as for information systems. So let me do that. Equal to, click on marketing, click on Jane Ashley, hit enter. And I'm going to type marketing. And in C12, I'm going to say equal to marketing, 107,000, which is the salary of Jane Ashley. Okay. I'm going to click on this D11, hold it to the bottom, and then shift it once. Copy and paste it there. So now it is calculating using this $107,000. Okay. So that's how powerful Excel is. Very easy to do. Once you create a formula, then you can copy and paste it to get various values. And I'm going to do the same thing. Shift, highlight all this. Sorry. And then I'm going to grab it, bring it down, and delete what I don't want. You'll also notice one thing here. This accounting is being copied all the time as accounting. So texts are going to be you can copy the same number also. You can just reference, you're not referencing anything because you're not seeing anything. It is just copying the content of this cell to this cell. Similar, that's what is happening here. Let's do the information systems. Equal to information systems, Cam Hoong Ching, enter, and I'm going to type IS, and here equal to information systems, 115,000, which is a salary. I'm going to do the same thing, highlight this and bring it over here. And I'm going to highlight all I have, all the 4 cells, and bring it down. Delete that unwanted zeros. And now I have created the salaries of everybody. I've created the current salary and the new salary. Now the next thing I would like to do is to do a subtotal. The subtotal is after each department. So I want to do it by department. So after each department, I want to total the salaries of people in that department, both the current and the new. So I use a function called subtotal. And usually this is where there might be some problems in the versions of Excel. If it is a PC, if you go to data, if it is a Apple or Macintosh, you can go to home, click on home. So since I have a PC, I'm going to click on data, and you see here there is something called outline. Sometimes this outline may not be there, but if you pull this, you will see something called subtotal. This is what I'm going to be using. Okay, you have to find the subtotal either in the outline, or it might be somewhere here on the right side, or it might be in the Mac. If you go to home, it might be in under home, you have auto sum, and in that you will see all, and in that all you will see subtotal. Just click on that and you will see the subtotal coming up. So there are multiple ways of doing it. Okay, if you have any problems in finding the subtotal, just Google and see where the subtotal button is for the kind of Excel version that you have and what type of hardware you have. Okay, this is, by the way, I'm using PC and I'm using Office 365, and that's where I can find my, in the data, I find under outline. Okay, so now that we know where to find subtotal, let's do the subtotal. For that, I'm going to create another tab, and I'm going to call it subtotal. Okay, I'm going to go to salary. I'm going to highlight all these data that I have using the shift button and the arrow buttons. Now I have copied, I'm going to copy all the data that I have, which is basically from all the way from name to the $121,800. And I'm going to use Control C so that now you see this running border. That means it has copied it. I'm going to go to subtotal, click on A1, and then do Control V. So I'm using Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Control and C, Control button and C button at the same time. Control button and the V button at the same time. Okay. So let me remove this. Now I'm going to make these wider because I'm seeing these as because the columns are not wide enough. So to do that, I'm going to go between A and B and double click, between B and C, double click, between C and D, double click, between D and E, double click. Okay. I'm going to continue this in the next module.